Man, this has been bugging me for a while now, and I figure it's time I spill the beans. The whole thing with my family was a real pain in the butt, but I never thought it would blow up like this. I'm still kinda reeling from it, to be honest. So grab a seat, 'cause this is one of those stories you just won't believe. First things first, a little about yours truly. My name's Oliver, and I'm the older brother in the family. Growing up, it always felt like I was the one carrying the load, while my little brother, Liam, always got a free pass. I'm 26 now, working a regular grind, still figuring stuff out, but I've always been the dependable one. And honestly, I don't really mind it. I was raised to believe that if you work hard, you'll get there eventually, even if it's a long road. Liam, on the other hand, he's 22, and let's just say he's allergic to hard work. If there's one thing that kid knows how to do, it's play the system to his advantage, and somehow he always lands on his feet with everything handed to him. Whether it's new toys, fancy clothes, or trips, our folks were always quick to give him whatever he wanted. Meanwhile, I was stuck doing the boring stuff, like taking care of the house, running errands, and all the chores they didn't feel like doing. Our parents, Mom and Dad, were pretty strict with me. They always told me I had to earn my keep and that life wasn't a walk in the park. That was their go-to saying, for real. I never really got why they treated me so different from Liam. They were always saying they wanted me to be responsible and keep a level head. Which, okay, I get it. But it was always on their terms. If they needed something done, I was the guy. If there was a big decision to make, I was the one calling the shots. But when it came to Liam, it was like he was a golden child. No matter what he did, he could do no wrong. This whole dynamic was something I'd learned to live with over the years. Sure, I didn't get all the fancy stuff. But I had something they didn't, I was self-sufficient. I had a job at 16, worked my way through school, and I've always been able to handle things on my own. Liam? He never lifted a finger. It drove me nuts seeing them bending over backwards for him. But things really hit the fan around his graduation. It was a huge deal for our parents. They acted like it was some major accomplishment. Liam had barely scraped by in his classes. I mean, he coasted through. He never put in the effort, but they were so proud of him. And what did I get? Well, you're about to find out. The day of the graduation bash, we had a small get-together with the family. Nothing too crazy, but they sure made it sound like the whole world was watching. They had a cake with his name on it, balloons all over the place, and decorations galore. It was like it was the most important day of the year. And for them, I guess it was. I don't want to sound bitter, but it's tough not to when you've been in my shoes. It was like they were so focused on Liam that they didn't even notice the stuff I'd done. I kept things running smooth around the house. I helped pay bills when Dad's job was a little short. I took care of the groceries, laundry, and all that other stuff that goes along with keeping a house together. And then came the gifts. Liam had landed a shiny new car, a gift our parents could barely afford. I actually found out later they had taken out a loan to cover the cost. It wasn't so much about the car itself, but the fact that they couldn't even afford it but still went ahead and got it for him. Yeah, that part stung. Especially when they barely acknowledged the sacrifices I'd been making. Then, it was my turn. I tried to brush it off, didn't want to be that guy, the one who complains because he didn't get a flashy gift. But what I got was, to put it nicely, a slap in the face. I sat down on the couch, waiting for my turn, trying to hide the nerves bubbling up inside. It was like I already knew what was coming. Mom smiled at me, but it wasn't the warm, loving smile I was used to. It felt different. Almost condescending. "Oliver," she said, her voice soft. Almost too sweet. "We know you're so responsible, and we just wanted to make sure you have what you need for your future. We thought this would be practical." I tried to smile back, trying to hide the frustration that was building. I didn't want to seem ungrateful, but I was already expecting the worst. I had to keep it together. Then she handed me a small box. It felt light, and when I opened it, I just couldn't believe what I saw. Inside was a stack of household cleaning supplies, paper towels, sponges, dish soap, the works. My heart just sank. I was speechless. I was speechless. I just stared at it for a few seconds, trying to wrap my head around it. Mom? Dad? I started, but my voice cracked. What is this? Dad chuckled, slapping his knee. Well, Oliver, now you can be even more useful around the house. You've always been so responsible, and this is just another way to show how much you contribute. I blinked, trying to understand. Was this some kind of joke? Liam, who was sitting right next to me, was grinning from ear to ear. He looked at me with this smug look, almost mocking. Yeah, Ollie, now you can keep things nice and clean. You always seem to be the one doing the chores anyway. My stomach churned. I knew this was gonna be bad, but I didn't think it would sting this much. They were giving my brother a brand new car, and me? Cleaning supplies? I swallowed hard, but my throat felt tight, like I was choking on something I just couldn't put my finger on. I stood up, not wanting to sit there another second, not wanting to look at that pile of cleaning supplies in front of me. I'm gonna head out for a bit, I said, my voice cold. I need some air. Without waiting for anyone to say anything, I grabbed my jacket, packed a bag, and left the house. I didn't know what I was hoping for, but I knew I couldn't stay there. I could hear my parents calling after me, but I didn't look back. I don't know how long I walked that night, but it felt like hours. I just kept putting one foot in front of the other, not even caring where I was going. It wasn't until I found a bench near the park that I finally stopped to sit down, my head spinning. I should have been furious, and I was, but I was also just plain worn out. Worn out from always being the responsible one, worn out from always doing everything right, only to get ignored or dismissed. I took out my phone, scrolling through some messages from friends, trying to distract myself from the mess that had just happened. I didn't even want to go back home, but where else could I go? The house was all I had, even though it felt more like a prison than a place of comfort. I finally decided to call a cab to take me to a buddy's place, just to get some space. When I got there, I told my friend Jake everything that happened. Jake listened quietly, but I could see the frustration in his eyes. He knew what I'd been going through with my family. You don't deserve that, Oliver, Jake said. You've been busting your butt for years, and they just keep using you. You're not some kind of house cleaner, man. I let out a sigh, feeling the weight of the last few years hit me all over again. I don't know what to do anymore. I've given them everything. And Liam? He doesn't appreciate any of it. He's totally spoiled, and it's like they think he can do no wrong. Jake was quiet for a minute, then he said something I hadn't really thought about. Why don't you just leave? For real. Get a job somewhere else. Start over. You don't need them, man. You got this. It hit me like a ton of bricks. He was right. I didn't have to stick around. I didn't have to be their backup plan, the one they turned to when they needed something. It was hard to picture leaving everything behind, but in that moment, it felt like it might be the only way to break free. I spent the night at Jake's, and when I woke up, I knew what I had to do. It wasn't just about the gift anymore. It was about my whole life, about how my folks treated me compared to Liam. So, I packed a bag, grabbed what I needed, and went back to my parents' house to tell them I was leaving. They weren't home at the time, which just made the whole thing feel even more like I was walking away from a chapter one could never go back to. When they got back, it didn't take long for them to realize something was up. I was halfway through packing my stuff when I heard their car pull into the driveway. My heart skipped a beat as the front door creaked open. Oliver? My mom's voice echoed down the hall, sounding surprised. "Where are you going?" I walked into the living room, holding my bag. "I'm leaving, Mom." "What?" Her voice cracked. "Where are you going? You can't just leave like this." I kept my voice steady, but I could feel the tension building. "I've been carrying this family for too long. It's time for me to go. You and Dad don't need me." "Not really. You've always had Liam for everything else." The look on her face was disbelief, like she couldn't even understand what I was saying. "Oliver, you know we depend on you. You've been so helpful, and now you're doing this? This is the thanks we get?" I didn't let her guilt trip me this time. "I've been helpful because you've never given me a choice. You've always expected me to clean up after everyone. Liam does whatever he wants, and you keep giving him everything. Well, I'm done." Dad stepped into the room, looking confused. "What do you mean, you're done? You're gonna leave the family? After everything we've done for you?" "You haven't done anything for me, Dad," I replied, keeping my voice calm. "Liam gets a car, and I get cleaning supplies. That's how much I mean to you." Mom's face twisted, almost panicked. "You don't understand. We've been making sacrifices for your future. You're not seeing the bigger picture." I shook my head. "No, Mom. I'm done seeing the bigger picture. You've never seen me. You've only seen what you can use me for. But I'm not doing this anymore." I hit send, my fingers shaking just a little bit. I ain't never been more sure about a decision in my life. But that weren't the end of it. A few weeks later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Almost didn't pick it up, but something told me I had to. When I answered, it was my dad on the other end. "Oliver, we know we messed up," he said, his voice sounding more broken than I ever heard it. "Your mom and we've been trying to fix things. And we're sorry. We were wrong. We don't want you thinking we just care about what you can do for us. We want our family back. We want you back." The words hit me harder than I thought they would. A part of me wanted to believe them, to think that maybe, just maybe, they were being for real. But the logical part of my brain reminded me of everything they had done, how they had taken me for granted, used me, and played me to clean up their messes. I'd been their backup plan for way too long, and I was done with it. "I'm not coming back, Dad," I said, my voice steady. "Not now, not ever. You had your chance, and you used it all up. You can't just expect me to forget everything just 'cause you're sorry now. You made your choices. I'm making mine." There was a long silence on the other end, and I could hear him breathing heavy. I understand," he finally said, his voice sounding defeated. "But please, just know we're here if you ever change your mind." I hung up the phone and sat there in my quiet apartment, feeling kinda relieved. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was truly free. It's been a year now since that last talk. My folks have tried to get in touch a couple times, but I've stayed strong. I ain't gonna let them back in my life, and I ain't gonna feel bad about it. Over the past year, I've been building something for myself, something that'll make sure I never have to rely on anyone ever again. My income's been climbing steady, and in a few more months, I'll be at the point where I can call myself financially independent for real. And, if I'm being honest, a part of me knows that when they find out I'm doing that well, they'll come knocking again. But this time, I won't be around. So, Reddit, what do you think? Was I wrong for refusing to help them? I'm honestly torn between feeling like I did the right thing and feeling guilty about leaving them in the dust. It's tough because they're family, but after everything, I just don't know if I can ever forgive them. Let me know what you're thinking.